I'm Jarmo Eskelinen.
Yep.
I am the CEO of Virium Helsinki,
Yep.
which is a development company based in Helsinki, Finland.
Okay.
What we do is build meaningful interfaces between the people and the services. Quite a lot of work in well-being sector, in media, and around the concept of smart city. Maybe the biggest one being the open data initiatives which we have. And we are a membership base of about 16 companies, quite large corporations amongst them, Nokia, Finnish Broadcasting Corporation, City of Helsinki. And I would say the specialty is our approach to use the Helsinki region as the test bed for services and public-private initiatives which we run.
Cool. I've noted some very interesting statements by you. You said everything is going to the cloud.
Well, I think we are in the point of time where because of speed of networks, we have come to a situation where it's just sort of more practical. It's you cannot beat the value offering of cloud-based service because you can offer basically unlimited storage with unlimited speed and unlimited reliability, which is something you can't offer any of these if you have your own server room or own IT system. So I think it's a very pragmatic and practical fact that that's what's going to happen. Then of course it does bring it with itself a lot of questions too, like I mean, even though if you would have open data using open interfaces, it's the same as with the internet in general. Where is the data? Who actually owns it? Who has an access to it? What about issues of privacy or other data which is, should I say, could compromise security or
on that topic you had a very strong critique on the behavior or the way of thinking of publicly funded institutions about sharing content. So what are you thinking that will happen with institutions which do not want to share content, who are probably not allowed? So we had a strong remark, a critical remark on this.
Well, I think they are simply just going to be pushed to the side.
Okay, like an evolution?
Yeah, it's an evolutionary process. I think the idea of public sector selling information is outdated. And quite simply, why? Because if you calculate all the money together, which is being created by selling info, and if you take in the other end of the scales, you take the value of that data if it would be published for other parties to create services on. Probably the government would get the more money through taxes because of added business than this total sum of these sub-optimized little transactions. Because to be honest, I mean, let's face it, public institutions are damn bad at making business out of the data.
Exactly.
If you compare the amount of data and the amount of business, it's like
business.
It's not their business.
It's not their business to make business. Exactly.
Yeah. Even corporations are understanding this. I mean, if you think of big companies, IBM's, Nokia's, Apple's, they have their developer communities because they've understood a long time ago that there are lots of clever people out there who know better what to do with your products, who do know better what to do with your data. So you should tap into that talent. The same is true with public institutions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe even more so.
Do you think that probably the flow from the virtual platform raised the question, who is going to facilitate the access to this cultural content? Should it be done by the public sector, or is it something left to the private companies and so on? So what is your point of view? Is it...
I'm not private sector romantic, so I think private sector is really, it's well, stupid thing to say. I mean, the business of business is making business, and that means that there are no private sector never does anything for the common good. So I think it's to a certain extent it is the task of the public sector to watch out that the common good exists, and that for example the regulatory processes don't get lag behind, which is a tricky business though, because I mean legislation is very slow tool to do anything. But I do think we do need regulation. We do need maybe, for example, we could have big decisions made in Europe about licensing all non-exclusively copyrighted public material under Creative Commons licenses. Things like that, to make sure that we don't fall into technology lock-ins.
Yeah, it's still today lots of cultural activity is funded by public money, so it's owned by the public,
Yeah.
which is you and me.
Yes,
because
us.
we are taxpayers.
We own it. Yeah.
Yes, we own it. So government should provide access for us for what we own already.
Oh yes, exactly so. And they should make sure that we have an access to what we own, and that it's not locked away, neither by public institutions or by technology lock-ins by companies.
Yeah.
Which at the moment it's quite a wild frontier, and lots of companies are hoarding data
Yes.
to reap on the benefits later. And we must be quite careful about that phenomena, because companies are much quicker at understanding the next steps in business creation.
Very good. One last question. Is there a mobile application for cultural content you are dreaming of personally? Just
that's
something
interesting.
going beyond the touristic approach, of course.
I would like to be able to tag anything.
To tag anything.
Tag anything interesting I sort of meet. I think that comes to the area of Internet of Things, which I would love to have the service which would make it possible for me to quickly mark things which I find interesting wherever I go. Whether it's time-based performance, for example, or location-based, or an object, or a piece of information. I would like to collect it, to bookmark it for my personal cloud.
For your personal cloud.
Yeah.
Cool. And it would be done with a mobile.
I mean that's the only thing I carry with me all the time.
Cool.
So I mean it's quite obvious.
Thank you. Thank you very much.